A third time he said to them, "Why, what evil has he done? I have found in him no guilt deserving death. I will therefore punish and release him." But they were urgent, demanding with loud cries that he should be crucified, and their voices prevailed. It is Tuesday, the 20th day of June, 2023, and it is time for the reading of our devotional thought for today, coming from the book Truth for Life by pastor and author Alistair Begg. Today's devotional thought is entitled, "What Will You Do with Jesus?" And the verses today, Luke chapter 23, verses 22 and 23, which reads, "A third time he said to them, 'Why, what evil has he done? I have found in him no guilt deserving death. I will therefore punish and release him.' But they were urgent, demanding with loud cries that he should be crucified, and their voices prevailed." That's Luke chapter 23, verses 22 and 23. Alistair Begg writes, "As governor over Judea, Pontius Pilate was responsible for maintaining order and quelling civil disruption within his jurisdiction. He was accustomed to using his power and influence to determine the outcome of those awaiting their sentence. But Jesus' arrival in his courtroom confronted Pharaoh with the greatest dilemma of his life. Accompanied by a large crowd of religious officials, Jesus was brought before Pilate. When Pilate pressed the mob and asked them explicitly, "What evil has he done?" all they seemed to be able to do was to raise their voices louder. A raised voice is often indicative of a weak argument. Pilate knew that Jesus was innocent, and so he essentially declared to those assembled, "I find no fault in this man." But the cries of the crowd grew more demanding and more insistent, and Pilate must have started asking himself, "What can I do with this Jesus of Nazareth?" Pilate wanted to release Jesus. He knew that he should release Jesus. But Pilate capitulated to his desire to palate the crowd and to maintain favor with the religious leaders, and the voices of the friends' throng prevailed. Pilate's dilemma is not unfamiliar. In fact, it is the great dilemma that confronts men and women what to do with Jesus of Nazareth. Pilate came face to face with the Son of God and heard his testimony from his own lips, and still he chose the world and all of its noises over bending his knees to the King of Kings. In Jesus' sentencing, God's eternal plan of salvation unfolded in a moment in time. Jesus was not accused and condemned for his own sin. He was not dying for himself. He was dying for us. He who was totally innocent became totally guilty in order that we who are totally guilty might be declared completely innocent. All of Pilate's attempt to dismiss Jesus, to turn him over for another official to pass judgment, to wipe his hands clean on the matter, didn't work. Neither will ours. Our only hope in life and death is to respond in our hearts to the glory of what happened on the cross. Like Pilate, we face a choice. Either we bow our knees to Jesus Christ and his lordship, or we capitulate to the pressures of the surrounding culture. And while that's a decision we make in the privacy of our hearts, it is one that reveals itself, as it did with Pilate, in what we say when those around us are urging us to deny the rule or goodness of Christ. However loud those voices become, if you are his, then be ready to stand for him. A powerful last line, indeed. If you are his, then be ready to stand for him. And may today you have many opportunities to stand for Jesus Christ. And that concludes the reading of our devotional thought for today. What will you do with Jesus? A question we each must answer At the sound of my voice, you are now responsible to answer that question. What will you do with Jesus? Clive Walsh here, asking God to speak to your hearts in specific ways, convicting ways, so that you might give an answer, and that you might give an answer this very moment. And those of you reading through the scriptures in a year, your verses today is Jeremiah chapter 40 through Jeremiah chapter 42 and Matthew chapter 27, verses 27 through 50. Clive Walsh here. May the Lord richly bless you and give you a great day today.